All right, so I ended up not being able to finish a league before I went to sleep last night, so we have one match left over from this league, and then I guess we can run through a fresh one.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, you're pretty familiar with the list. We don't need to go over the list or anything like that, right?
No, I don't think we need to.
All right, sweet. So, what have you been playing in Legacy recently?
Uh, I've mostly just been playing uh, Legacy, actually. I Format's been in flux, and I don't find necessarily playing in formats that are in a heavy flux that interesting. Um, and well, at least playing control decks or any sort of allegory to that. And I haven't been in the mood to play Delver per se, even though I think it's a fine deck. So I've been kind of exploring limited and standard and modern. So, you know,
Okay, what do you think of the new
know that
limited set?
um is it's really balmy. It's at times it's interesting. At times you're playing like really interesting games, and other times your opponents are just like killing you with a bunch of uncommon planeswalkers that you just can't overpower. So the experience varies.
Okay, so you haven't been tempted to try out any of the new toys and miracles?
Not particularly. I think Narset is good. I think Teferi is not really worth playing. I've seen people play Dovin's Veto, but that seems kind of egregious to me. Um, it, you know, Ashiok seems kind of interesting, but I don't know. None of it really interests me enough to start jumping in the leagues when there's just other stuff going on in Magic that's also pretty entertaining.
That makes sense.
Seems like a regretful keep.
Yeah, kind of. It's a little bit on the awkward side. The double brainstorms require an underground sea fetch, which isn't really where you want to start.
I'm gonna start off.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think we can. I don't think you pitch back two brainstorms, a tutor, depths, and double disruption piece. That's kind
Yeah,
of ambitious shipping it.
seems like a keep and hope they don't wasteland on turn one, thinking we're Storm.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's weird. I run the mana base the way I do to make people think I'm Storm, because 28 lands, I'm normally ecstatic if they just wasteland my first land, but this is the rare hand where that would be massively punished.
So, at the bottom, the Discord app thing is popping up. You mind clicking to hide? Uh, because that's also popping up on the stream.
There we go.
There we go.
Speaking
Okay.
speaking of new Narset, I guess this is Chase's deck with a Narset.
I probably. Narset as a card seems kind of whatever. I kind of want to take the Ponder Baleful Strix since we can get our brainstorms down under Narset.
Yeah, I think cutting them off of that is fine.
I guess the plan is like take Ponder, next turn brainstorm, have like a green black source of some sort, and then thought seize them, hope to hit a fetch land, I guess, and then shuffle away the second brainstorm.
Uh, that's interesting.
Uh, so
So we could either go with the plan that you initially just said, or we could play the Dark Depths pass, knowing they're going to crack for Baleful Strix. And
yeah,
time.
they'll crack for Baleful Strix, and
So we could go for
I'm
the.
surprised they didn't lead on the land we knew about.
No, I X'd it out. They did
Which
have
is-
they did have a Delta in their hand.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, they still have one unknown.
I mean, this is a percentage play that you would have better experience with.
Yeah, I think it's.
Do you think cutting them?
I think it's likely we're going to find another fetch or source anyway.
Yeah.
we can always thought seize if we only hit Bayou or Urborg. I don't think the
Yeah.
Stifle's necessarily where we want to be at the moment.
I think just holding up Stifle is kind of treading water, and okay,
Yeah.
this is fine, right? We
Yeah, I mean
just
this is
put
basically everything. So
just put like map and then brainstorm under it, and then we just go Tropical Island Pass, right? And then next turn we can uh, just Urborg,
yeah,
because we still get to stifle them, and then we get to Inquisition their hand
yeah,
and set up for some reasonable follow up. In this way, if they, draw like an Inquisition or something, we didn't stifle that one.
yeah. I clicked through my turn. That
Okay.
absolutely should have happened.
Okay.
That's interesting that they're not doing that.
Well,
I don't know.
now we just get to go Urborg Inquisition, right?
Yeah,
Maybe they drew a Force of Will and want to keep the Baleful Strix for Force of Will.
that's possible. That's exactly what happened. So now I think we just follow up with Thoughtseize taking Narset and slam the map too.
Yeah, definitely. We're playing map, right? Oh, or did you decide to not play map?
Yeah, I decided
Because of
I held up the Stifle because it didn't actually.
playing into DAC/K command is also pretty heinous. So I think we just like play Dark Depths, right?
Yeah.
Or
First, I think I want to
or
see.
do you
what
want to
they-
just?
Oh, Ferris. Come here. First, I want to see if they actually force of will the map.
Okay.
There's no need to show them that we have the other piece.
Makes sense to me. And now we just get to crack Dark Depths, leave up Stifle.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the last turn
move
was
on
correct.
for our lives.
I'm not sure what was correct to play around there or not. They do have a bunch of cards with the K and K command that could punish us. And
Oh,
and
they have decays and K commands and DAC, and you had a brainstorm, so it's like pretty free to play around all of the onboard answers for a map. And you get to just brainstorm in response to any discard spell, and if they cast a discard spell, then you know that they drew exactly what is it? It's the card. The discard spell, right? Because we knew they had Force Will.
Yeah. So since we have a combo +1, I think we brainstorm here just to see if we find an additional piece of disruption to edict check them essentially.
Makes sense to me.
That's perfect.
This is nice.
So
We just put like Mox Diamond and then map on top, or is it Urborg and then map on top? Probably just Mox,
yeah, I think it's
Urborg and map.
yeah. Fatal push.
Okay. So no, I don't think we around.
Yeah, one draw off the
Anything.
top. I think they only have maybe 1 or 2 copies of an Edict Effect main, so I don't think there's.
I guess. You know what we should have done? We should have cast Duress off. We should have left Urborg in our hand to cast Duress off of Urborg, so that we could play Urborg, make the 20/20 on their upkeep because they play Assassin's Trophy, and then if they draw Jace exactly or Liliana, we can stifle it as opposed to playing in a trophy. It's
yeah,
I think that's probably the best way.
yeah,
Like all of these cards are like 1 or 2 ofs, but it plays around all of them the best outside of just like straight up Edict. But I think that plays around the most cards. So
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah, I think that's correct. I was looking at the mocks discarding the Urborg.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my initial thought as well with the way we brainstormed, and then I remembered that they played Trophy.
Yeah, what is Trophy? One of?
Yeah, yeah. Like they play like one Trophy, sometimes one Liliana, like two Jace, and then like maybe one Edict or something. So I think that play I described plays around the most cards effectively outside of exactly drawing Edict, which I think if they just randomly Edict us there, I guess I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Maybe Trophy isn't worth considering. It's hard to say. Not like Safekeeper in this matchup.
It's weird. I mean, it's an Edict fodder, but they don't really have any targeted cards that I particularly care about. When they normally have like a To the Slaughter, an Edict that I care about, Assassin's Trophy that I care about. So other than just being a body for Edict, I don't know that it's all that. It's cracked up.
Makes sense.
Plus, they keep some amount of random removal in anyway. I think I usually still see some K commands. I don't think they have enough good cards for the matchup where they can pull out all of their commands, fatal pushes, punishing fires. There's just too many cards, so some of it stays. And
they probably just can't straight up cut Punishing Fire because of the DAC engine, so
yeah,
it makes sense to not board in Safekeeper.
I mean, it's fine. I'm still adjusting to Safekeeper. I've only been on it for a few months as a one of, so I tend to err on the side of not bringing it in because I'm not exactly a fan of the card.
Okay. Your audio keeps cutting in and out a bit, maybe because of the noise gate. Maybe talk just a bit louder to just keep.
I'm kind of quiet like that too. So
Yeah. It seems nuts, right?
It's not nuts. It doesn't have the Urborg. The accelerant needs to get through a counter spell, but yeah, we have a Brainstorm, a Tutor, and a discard spell plus both lands of the combo, so it's pretty good. Wow. Oh, now we have that.
What was that about no Urborg?
Well, sometimes they come off the top. I don't understand why decks like this run circle.
This hand is terrible. I guess we just take Baleful Strix, right?
Pretty much, yeah. We're under Jace. I don't care about Leovold.
Oh,
we could delay ourselves a turn and brainstorm under Leovold by getting a tropical island off Delta, but then we're kind of like walking into giving them a Jace turn if they happen to find blue card Force of Will.
That fetch lane was odd. Timing.
Yeah, they just showed us their draw, alright. Oh no, they didn't. Yeah, that was the first draw.
I mean, we can put the combo on table and...
Interesting. So...
And we can brainstorm off of Tropical Island and then crop rot into a combo piece, right?
We can, but that opens us up to Force of Will if he draws blue card Force in the interim. But I think it's probably still fine. There's non-zero chance we just brainstorm into another disruption piece too.
Discard spell?
Yeah, or Flusterstorm and just wait a turn.
We can't brainstorm off of Trop. We can't crop rot. This is awkward, but still, this is fine, right?
No, you can upkeep crop rot if we want to. If we absolutely had to, we could shuffle during our upkeep.
Guess we'll do that. So we can also just play out our map and see if they
want to spend a turn killing this when we already have the combo. I'm completely fine with that. Well, that was one of their draws. So now I think, since we know, well, I don't know whether we want to. I guess we can draw the second.
I think we want to upkeep crop rot because this. Well, it forces them to have drawn Force of Will, and if they force, then they probably have to put their Jace.
Oh, they definitely.
Otherwise,
yeah, they definitely do.
Like
the other two cards are Surgical Grove.
Yeah, I would upkeep crop rot, getting the Bayou out of our hand, or the Trop out of play and put the combo on table. That way they can't actually play their Jace, and then they have to take a draw towards Natty. Like play take a draw towards like a Natty interactive effect. I guess they also have to draw a blue source to play Jace. Yeah, this hand was just really all in on that Strix being a relevant card.
So, question is, do we play patiently? Let's see if we draw a disruption piece, wasteland them off their blue source.
Two cards.
They haven't done anything. They were both draws do nothing. So I think it's pretty safe to say it wasn't a cantrip, or they would have cast that this turn. So it's definitely not brainstorm ponder.
Right, they didn't draw cantrip, so
their other draw wasn't forced because I think they would have forced the map. So
we want to crack.
So
say we crack expedition map, get a dark depth. We can't actually just make a 20/20 and then get the combo back in play.
We can the following turn
easily, right?
So if we crack for a second depths here, we untap, play the second stage, assuming we don't draw a disruption piece.
Issue is surgical, right?
Yeah, so he has the surgical. So you have to main phase the combo, which walks into Jace, which isn't really an option.
Which walks into like basically everything.
Yeah. Even a Liliana or something like that.
We're pretty much just hoping that we draw duress, cast, or Flusterstorm, I guess.
Yeah.
Cast it.
I think we have
and have it be.
I think we have.
What was that?
I think we have a turn to wait because we can wasteland him off blue entirely. Although he draws a card to do that, which is awkward.
Yeah, if we wait a turn and say we draw like a discard spell, we cast a discard spell, and we're hoping that in 2 draws he or she doesn't draw a relevant piece of interaction. Yeah. So we're kind of playing towards like Flusterstorm being our best card.
Yeah, we also lose the trophy here.
Yeah, we do lose the trophy here.
I think since he's kind of not really clocking us, I'm okay with taking 1 draw and seeing what happens. And leaving the map in play in case we need a step to get through a Strix or something like that.
Mm.
No, I think it's close, but I think I like waiting a turn.
I think I agree. So, nice.
Oh, I think the same thing applies if he wants to force this. I think that's okay. Okay. Oh, now if he doesn't do anything overly devastating here, we can untap and go with Edict Protection next turn. Alright, that's great.
Oh, okay. So this is great.
Now we could go for it twice. So if he has trophy to trophy the first depths, we can just crop rot into another one.
Oh, we have to wait until they surgical, right?
Yeah.
We crop rot?
Yes, if they have that as well. That's awkward.
I guess we go for it here, or... The 4 cards, we can assume one of them is surgical.
Surgical.
We can assume that Jace... Jace isn't really one of them unless they have Force Will here. If they have Surgical Force Will, that leaves them on one interactive piece. So I think I would go for it here. Have to have like double Edict here to really punish us, and they play like To the Slaughter and Liliana, so they play a number of 3-mana Edicts.
Trophy punishes us pretty hard too.
Yeah, Trophy does kind of just get us. Well, it doesn't even get us, right? We just crop rot away
They surgical in response. If we
a Thespian stage in response.
They'll surgical if we
and then still have a
well,
surgical at Thespian stage, right?
No, the depths is in the yard.
No. Yeah. Okay, I guess we just crop rot here. Anyway.
Yeah.
Guess it's Bayou, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or does that leave us with no fetchable green sources?
Now we have another Bayou.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
So they have to have exactly double Edict here.
Or if they have something right, like a Dead Gone or something like that.
This is awkward. They can Jace. Shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, double surgical Jace actually gets us. Well, don't concede yet. See if they kept the Jace in hand.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. They didn't do
that. Do you have Sajiri Step? Just name blue. Sajiri Step named blue. Now Jace does nothing.
I don't believe I've ever had that come up. Ever.
So now they're back on needing double Edict.
Yeah.
Or Fatal Push Edict.
Yeah, or something weird. Bounce spell. Bounce spell doesn't do it on blue either, so.
Yeah.
Dead Gone.
I think they're dead.
Dead Gone's the only thing I can think of. I guess a bounce spell would still do it during our turn if they let us.
Yeah, Dead Gone would get us, but I guess that is a card that they could play. I imagine it's less common than a few other things. To the Slaughter. And are you dead? Or do you have like, what's that delve bounce effect?
Oh, the 6-drop?
Yeah, the delve one. What is it?
I forget the name.
Castaway or something?
Cast out. Yeah, no, cast out's the white spell. I'm not sure what the
Yeah, whatever the card is. Yeah, that's that would have been an awkward beating, but you know.
Right. I think we'll give this guy 2 minutes if that's good. Oh, Set Adrift. Yeah, Hackbird's got it.
Adrift, there we go.
Yeah. Give this guy a minute or two so we don't do the old double Q into the odd.
Re-Q into him.
Yeah. So I think there's a pretty good chance that it ended up. I don't know that it was right in theory, but that our decision ended up getting rewarded. I think it's pretty.
You cut out again.
Oh, I said I don't know that it was the correct play in theory, but I think our decision to wait probably got rewarded. I think he had that to the Slaughter.
Yeah, I think they probably did. Vampire Hexmage just proved to be the perfect draw there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot. That's part of the reason for waiting. There's 8 discard spells, 3 Flusterstorms, the other 3 Brainstorms, the 4 Hexmages, 4 Cropper. Like, basically, every non-land draw in the deck was very good in that spot.
Yeah, it turns out that a discard spell wouldn't have done it, but a Fluster probably does.
Yeah. Alright, I think we're probably safe. Yeah, I can't think of any time where stepping pro blue in advance of a Jace was actually a relevant play. That's such a weird sequence.
That's okay. We're just here for the music. Luke, come on.
Oddly, the surgical was actually kind of annoying that game.
Yeah. Oh, we're playing against Stefan.
Yeah, not only Death and Taxes, but a very strong player on Death and Taxes. This hand is not good.
To me.
It's interesting, because if he doesn't wasteland us right off the bat, this hand's probably okay.
Okay.
And this is one of the more important. Getting a threatening a combo on by turn 3 against this deck is very important before they start doing things like slamming Jailer.
That seems reasonable.
This is also very good against Vile if you can put them out back to back. Against some D&D players, they'll blow us swords early on something like this too. I don't think our opponent will do that here, but yeah.
Well, Stefan plays a lot of decks, so he did go through a D&T phase, but he's also been known to play a bevy of other things.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I agree, Hackbert, that Duress is weak versus D&T generally, but in this kind of spot, on the draw, you just hold it. So the turn before you combo, you swords check them. If they Stoneforge Mystic for a life-gaining equipment, you grab that. You just don't fire it off on turn 1 after they play a Vial. So I'm not in love with it in the hand, but it's still useful. So he's on black.
Chancellor the Annex.
Yeah, we're going to lose this game. 7-card keep reveal Chancellor.
Oh, man.
Well, of all the hands they could have, that's the best for us.
Oh, they targeted themselves. Okay. That's annoying, I guess. They had the therapy, and yeah, it's the Chancellor. That's fine.
The Chancellor is, yeah, the one. I mean, we're going to need to draw land. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Mox Diamond one time.
So, here I think we're going to clear the first Chancellor trigger with a Brainstorm. Although maybe I should have done that with the rest.
A Mox Diamond would have been a nutso draw there.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty good. It's a 5-turn clock. So, 1 turn late.
Yeah. That's better than playing out the gemstone, right?
I believe it is, yeah.
Oh, true. Ugh. Isn't doing Chancellor math. Yeah, I guess we just have to play gemstone and brainstorm.
Yes. Although I think there's no real point to do it now. We probably do it end step.
No, there is a point to doing it now.
Basically, if we can brainstorm into a stage or a crop rotation, I think we're probably good.
It'll probably be fine.
Even a mana-producing land. Any mana-producing land gets us to Scrying, which gets us to Hexmage. Unless they draw into a way to make a Gristlebrand or something like that.
Yeah, he does have a Cabal Therapy, though, which is unfortunate.
I don't know what he would name in this spot. Plus, we can actually hide cards if he casts that here.
Yeah, I mean, if we let it resolve, the best name is obviously Brainstorm. He probably names Hexmage or something along those lines, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, they may just be saving it for them drawing a creature, too.
They may be saving it for what?
Alright. I thought maybe he was setting up for if he on the off chance he drew a Gristlebrand or something like that.
Okay. This is pretty good, right?
Yeah, so the only thing we can't actually
You just
You
like
can't
put
protect.
Sylvan Scrying on the bottom and then put a Hex Mage on top of it, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to not get bombed here. Because if he names Hex Mage and hits
Is
all
that
three, yeah.
lets us put Hex Mage into play next turn, and then the turn after we get to tutor for 2020?
Yeah, assuming somehow another Chancellor doesn't end up in play, yeah. That works.
Yeah, but that's not something we can play around, so
I agree.
yeah.
The really greedy line is to just leave the scrying and shuffle the third card away, but then he could sack the Chancellor to therapy and crush our hand.
Can you fiddle with your audio settings? Your noise gate does keep cutting you off mid sentence.
All right.
Maybe we can fix that after this match or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't hear what line you said was greedy. I assume it involved keeping Sylvan Scrying in hand, thinking we'd name something else. But
No,
there's no
no.
real reason
Yeah.
to stay exposed, right?
Yeah, especially because you can
'Cause, like,
flashback therapy in a worst case scenario.
yeah, you can flashback therapy. He can have another discard spell. It's just better to, yeah. So he's gonna take our Hex Mages, and then this is fine.
Yeah, that was pretty much the best case scenario. Now we can
Is
duress him.
there?
Now we can
No,
duress
there
him
isn't.
too.
Oh yeah, yeah, we can. That's nuts.
All right, I think we're in very good
Oh,
shape.
he
Now.
just did that. Interesting.
Yeah. So now if he doesn't draw a reanimation spell, we get to check his last card again.
And even if he does draw a reanimation spell, he
Is dead. Yeah. Well, that was
is basically dead.
That was the single
Oh,
best draw.
yeah. Yeah, yikes. The red brainstorm. Right. Okay, this is fine, right?
Yeah.
Animate deads and then like attack. So he has to make a Grizzlebrand or he has to make a what's the card? Has to make a
Gristlebrand or Tide Spout. Yeah.
Spout. There we go.
Yeah. They sometimes have Ashen Rider main deck too.
Yeah,
But they're on.
but he
one.
needs to have exactly like Entomb plus a reanimate effect or another looting
Well, he's gonna
or
flashback
something.
looting.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, flashback looting is like the most likely play he makes.
All right, I think we're good now.
And we just make a 2020 and draw like a crop rotation or something nuts like that.
Yeah, I mean this is just as good. So we get to.
Thinking on brand isn't the worst.
Yeah, I think that's likely to be what happens, but we get full information.
You also get to duress first,
Yeah.
which is nice. I'll take the, let's see.
I think it's
Draws.
the Exhume, right? Because he can flashback the looting anyway.
Yeah, I would just take the Exhume. I think. Yeah. And looting on. No, we should have taken looting.
You think? I mean, he only gets to keep one card, right? Like he has to lose. He goes up to. He draws.
Yeah.
He draws up to 2.
No, this is fine. He has to draw reanimation spell plus creature.
Yeah, and
Or I guess he can draw any reanimation spell.
yeah, but he's not.
If we take the looting, he has to zoom, and then we just run through the Chancellor again, and then he has to flash. Well, yeah, he has to exhume, and then he has to flashback looting the next turn.
Yeah.
Whereas this way, he casts Faithless Looting, and has the chance to hit a reanimation effect plus something of relevance.
Well, no, because he draws. He has one card. He has the looting. He draws a second card. He plays the looting, draws to 3, and has to discard 2 of those. So at best he's gonna have a guy in play. So even if it's Tide Spout, he has no follow up. So regardless of what happens, he's in chump mode.
Yeah, I guess his best reanimate is like a Grizzlebrand, then that buys a couple draw steps.
Yeah.
Not like Caracas in this matchup.
I don't. I think Caracas is
I
terrible.
guess
I think it's terrible. So I
it
think
comes down a little too late.
yeah.
It's
So
it's like people who keep in Swords and Plowshares against Sneak and Ship because they're like, I can plow a Grizzlebrand. It's
exactly. So the only way Caracas is good in this matchup is in conjunction with Pithing Needle. So if you have Needle on Gristlebrand, then Caracas is great. But on the draw, I don't even like Needle on the draw because
makes sense.
some large
We're
percentage of
gonna
the time they're making a guy before we take a turn.
makes sense. Working against this deck is a bit different for me because Miracles can beat them making a Grizzlebrand.
Okay.
And I've played a decent number of games or just whatever with blue decks where they've had a Grizzlebrand in play for a turn and then I've been able to like get through that.
Yeah.
So
It makes sense. This matchup's
I'm
all
a
about
little more used to having speed.
yeah. This matchup.
Well, speed or disruption, right?
Yeah. So this matchup's all about just not dying on the first turn or two. So
Makes sense to me.
Caracas bouncing Gristlebrand after they've drawn 7 or 14 cards just doesn't do it.
I feel like this hand is a keep on the play, but just like
Yeah, it's not good
have to
enough.
mulligan it on the draw.
Yeah, it goes through Chancellor. It's a discard spell through Chancellor, but he kept 7, so the odds that we can, yeah, I don't think this is a keep. This, on the other hand, is
That's
also
a
not
reluctant keep, I guess.
pretty much better than a random
'Cause-
5.
What was the logic behind keeping Bayou there as opposed to bottoming it towards
So, if somehow we don't die on the first turn, we have the full combo with double crop.
we want
rot.
2 green sources?
Yeah, for double crop rot. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, we're dying on the first turn.
That is correct. Well, since they're drawing 14, I feel comfortable conceding from here.
Line number one. She did not do that for her husband. She did that for herself. She thinks if she looks different, she'll be different.
No, she thinks if she looks different, she'll be more attractive, which I have to say,
Not to her husband. Cosmetic surgery, so everyone else will look at us differently.
This seems like the nuts.
This is very good. The question is whether we want to.
Thursday should be that paisley paint.
it's a gift from my wife.
No, it's not. Julie hates green.
What land we want to discard. Well, I guess we have to see whether he has Chancellor first. But yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess the question is, do we want to leave up Flusterstorms and
Yeah, we can leave up both.
do we want
We
to
leave up both if we discard the Urborg, but it's easier
Right.
to have combo plus protection off of any land draw if we chuck the.
we mold to 6 and put a card on bottom?
Very tricky case.
Okay, so
You love everybody. It's your mythology.
If we pitch Bayou, play Urborg, leave Mox Diamond up, we get to potentially. I guess we can't even crop right away the Urborg, right? That doesn't really let us turn to combo.
no.
So-
I think I like chucking the Urborg and having both pieces of interaction up.
Yeah,
Just another layer of protection.
we can't. Yeah, because like either way, we're putting ourselves in a position where we have to draw another land, and I think this is better here. I guess we just fluster arena that.
Shucked in a tomb.
And hopefully they go for something a little aggressive.
Hi, I'm new, and for me, there is only one choice.
Ugh.
Okay. Do we crop rot for a Dark Depths, or do we crop rot? Crop rot for a blue source fluster seems pretty egregious
Yeah, that's
to
awful.
me. Yeah. So
I think we just let this. I mean, we waited too long now too. That's part of the problem.
maybe name surgical, but at this point he's probably just naming crop rot. But
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if I want to cast anything there.
I
I'll
honestly,
defer to your expertise.
yeah, this is close. I think he's one. We waited so long that I think he's 100% going to name crop rotation now.
Opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think it's
Rod for Dark Depths. Hope he doesn't name Hexmage.
yeah. Ugh. Because now he's not even going to do anything.
Pepperidge Farm Milano. Save something for yourself. There you go, hitting the ground running. Sort of. And making a really good point. And stepping up your game with Capella University's FlexPath format by earning your MBA in 12 months and under
That's really unfortunate that he had double discard spell there.
only at Capella.
Was that? Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, turn one double discard is. Well, he hit.
Okay. Yeah. Magical's fine. This is fine.
I don't know that I care about that.
Uh, maybe he'll pop out Dark Depths.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Think that's acceptable. Oh, he's going to maybe Cabal Therapy? Yes, but who cares?
To take Flusterstorm, I think I'm okay with that, right?
We're fine with this. Therapies and we Flusterstorm, and that's the card he was going to therapy anyway. And then he, like, I don't know, may have an Entomb or something.
Yeah.
Could also just get hit for 10 turns, but I think that it's unlikely that we take, you know, that many draw steps without something relevant happening.
Yeah, I mean, it was possible that I'm supposed to just. Well, I think I am supposed. Oh.
Just fluster that.
So one.
Give him the chance to name surgical.
Part of the reason I didn't want to fluster the last. Yeah, part of the reason I didn't want to fluster the last one is, because they may have Dark Ritual. But
yeah,
but I think this is higher upside of not letting him.
He's probably not going to Dark Rit though. I think he was just trying to clear the Flusterstorm that he knew about.
That makes sense.
So this way we get a therapy out of his yard. So this is probably just going to be
All right, that's really
a
good.
Faithless Entomb. Okay, cool.
That's really
So
good.
he had exactly what I thought he had. Not sure I would have done it there though. I guess it's F6 value. But
Yeah.
now we can just like draw Bog, which is awkward for him.
He may just be playing around the third Flusterstorm too, which I'm sure he knows is in the list.
Sure, I could see that. And we get to tap mana for this thing?
We do.
Busted.
Oh.
Tidespout boy.
Let's hope he doesn't draw a Faithless Looting.
Oh, any land off the top kills him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So nothing.
looks like he just figured his deck to go fast.
Yeah, nothing particularly
think he-
noteworthy other than the Ashen Rider left. So we basically
Yeah,
we just don't want him to draw Faithless Looting essentially here.
I don't think his deck is really configured, or their sideboard is particularly configured to have answers for our deck outside of just killing us before we kill them. So
The MRI reveals nothing that we were able to detect. It's now a tumor.
okay, it's not too bad. If he can make a card,
Yeah, it wasn't gonna have any cards.
tide card, he can't trigger it. Yeah, so. Just funny that you said we just need him to not draw Faithless Looting, and that was his draw.
Yeah, well.
Oh, can we work on the audio?
Oh, sure. Hold on. I'll cancel out. Let's see.
Your microphone settings or something, just lower the noise gate threshold a bit.
Did you look at her breasts? Man, it could be paraneoplastic.
Do you have any family history of breast cancer?
Good games. It's rare that this is probably only the second time in the last 6 months or so I've actually streamed. So would that actually be in the microphone settings, or because I don't see it
You know,
on Streamlabs?
like Streamlabs has a noise gate option, but you have to manually add it, and it doesn't sound like you've
Paraneoplastic syndrome causes
done that.
Yeah, I would not have done that. I don't even know how to do that. So
Uh,
yeah, when I go onto the filters and the properties, I don't see anything as far as a gate or how to alter that. It says no filters or anything applied.
Otherwise, it's just. This would be under microphone settings.
Ow. I'm sorry. I know it's uncomfortable. The tighter we go, the better the image. They still keep me awake. I should be able to stop telling you not to worry. I'm sorry.
You don't see anything in the audio or the settings of any kind. I'm probably just missing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe there's an option to just turn up your mic sensitivity a bit. Could also be a thing in Discord. Check something here.
Ryan mammogram only showed a few benign calcifications.
It's most likely a small cell tumor. It's no surprise we're having trouble finding it. We should do a PET scan. Start with her lungs, then maybe her bones. Sometimes it
Seems like a nut's hand.
It's a little odd, but yeah, if we draw any land next turn, it's a combo.
This hand kills the opponent in a very quick manner.
It's a non-zero. If I knew what they were on, it's possible that running out Hex Mage on turn 1 is correct. But in the dark, I think we have to Inquisition.
Okay, interesting.
If it's not paraneoplastic,
Yikes.
it is a reaction to some sort of toxin in their home.
So our opponent gets to do a turn 1 Rabble Master,
Turn
I
one,
guess.
Turn 1 Chandra right now.
Do you want to take a mana source to,
Yeah.
or do you just want?
Well, we're dead. We're dead to a moon off the top. So we're just gonna have to. We're just gonna have to spike that.
Yeah.
So I think taking the permanent source, and if they miss on moon on the first draw, they'll probably play one of these two.
Yeah, I would take Chromox. It's their permanent red source, so.
So we really
Gotta
just need
hope.
to. We really just need to draw a colored source here.
I mean, Dark Depths also does it.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Babble Daddy.
Look at me. I'm here 18 hours a day. That guy practically lives here. He does live here. I've been staying with turtles for 15 years and everyone is healthy as a horse. Whatever Eddie has, she didn't get here. Tell her I hope she feels better. And I had to get a new Odyssey.
Was there a reason to do that
No, I mean
there?
there's random. Not that they would ever have this kind of stuff in a million years, but if they had like a gut shot or something stupid, some stupid removal spell, you wouldn't want to be crop rotting with the Vampire Hex Mage. It's just a habit that I try to get into.
I think I would have been more inclined to just hide the information so that they maybe take a line that doesn't involve playing a bridge if they have it, like playing Hexmage and passing.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess anything's possible, but I don't know. I guess maybe I'm giving too much credit, but I don't think anyone would not play bridge against a Hex Mage with a green mana source up.
Yeah, I mean, I still give the opponent the chance to mess up, right?
Sure.
I guess the way we get punished is if they have a random main deck of Braid, which would be the more common card.
Yeah.
But I think if they draw a third mana source, they're just playing basically anything.
That sounds about right.
Nobody's perfect, right? I guess. Oh, my neck hurts.
You can probably shave like an Inquisition on the draw, right? Or a Brainstorm, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a shave at that point. I mean, we're heavily they're heavily favored in this game.
Yeah, that's like my thought process was, Brainstorm doesn't really do much. So, I mean, this hand seems playable. Has a mana source that doesn't get affected by Blood Moon. We can randomly play out the Dark Depths if they do moon us. And we can hope to draw something good. If
What?
we
I'm very confused.
pitch that Bayou, right? Or do we?
So it's I don't think so.
No.
So basically, we can brainstorm and Inquisition this turn with Hexmage Depths the following turn if we chuck the stage.
Um,
So it's double
kind
blind.
of.
I think we definitely want to Inquisition them here. So
Yeah, I think we definitely want to Inquisition them.
it's whether or not we want to look for.
I think we just lead on Bio Inquisition, right? Then just from there.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think anything is going to get better than that.
What, this was a 6 that they kept
Wow.
with Moon, Chalice, Goblin, Rabblemaster. Okay.
We're really fortunate.
I'm surprised they didn't Chalice 0.
Yeah, that's what I was just. We're really fortunate they didn't do that. They absolutely should have done that.
Now I think we just
Yeah, we have
Mox,
we have to run
pitch,
that out.
Thespian Stage, leave up Brainstorm, I guess, or do we just play map? Do we have a basic land in our deck? I can't remember.
We do not.
Let me check on
Not
cardboard.
the basic's not going to come up though. They have no way to moon us next turn. I think I'm going to play the map instead of brainstorming because our play is 100% dictated next turn. It's Hexmage Depths.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And they're
Oh, I think I may have considered brainstorming so that we could preemptively find an answer for bridge or something.
Well, we'll get deeper this way because we'll still be able to brainstorm off the Mox if they do slam bridge next turn.
Well, they're guaranteed to Chalice, right? So, like, I think
No, because if they chalice next turn, they're dead.
true.
So here I think I'm just gonna. I don't think they run anything like sudden shock, but I still think I'm gonna fire this off.
I mean, they do sometimes run sudden shock, so I think going for it here and not having to deal with, like, I don't know, random Chaos Warp or something,
Yeah.
they could technically get you.
Chaos Warp gets us either way.
That card, I thought that card destroyed, or does it shuffle?
It shuffles. All right, well, that was nice to beat that deck.
Yeah. Making it look easy.
I actually think that it's fine on the play, but you don't win a ton of games on the draw in that matchup. So I was fortunate that we won the middle game.
Do you believe in brainstorms?
The thing is, if any one of these redundant lands was a fetch land, I would be 100% on board. The fact that we have no shuffle effect, no disruption piece at all besides Wasteland, no depths, this seems kind of sketchy.
I'm fine with mulliganing if you want to. I don't have a particular opinion one way or the other. I'm inclined to keep a hand like that because, brainstorm, but
This is kind of
brainstorm and having to play towards a fetch land, and I guess play towards turn 4 combo is kind of medium.
yeah. We don't know what we're playing against, but the bog in hand is awkward.
Yeah, definitely. Basic island deck. I didn't quite see what was on top.
Oh, it was a Misty Rainforest.
Okay, nice.
Uh,
Right.
so they did not shuffle.
Own the now with Vistaprint.
A Little Caesars extra
Just like
fastest pizza has a very precise amount of
better here to just crack the map, right? Unless they go exactly counterbalance, then that's kind of brutal.
ridiculous
Even if they
So I guess for
counterbalance,
pricing,
even if they counterbalance, it's not that bad.
sausage.
Um,
Ridiculous amount.
How much is a ridiculous amount?
Ridiculous amount.
we just want to get underground C.
I was thinking Tropical Island actually, because I think the map's gonna be Urborg. So
Okay, so you want Inquisition next turn,
yeah,
or you just want to crack and tutor?
I was thinking crack this turn, and then
Okay, I'm down for it.
crack this turn, and then
I mean,
next
that
turn.
series of plays works much better in terms of setting up like a random kill um, right away.
Yeah. So
Cultures in the timeline rule out most bacteria. Patient throws up on your shoes. Do you clean up most of it? The symptoms rule out the rest. Serology
I think Poron plays Miracles or something.
sounds about right.
Off of Thespian's stage, right? Oh, interesting.
not possible for a patient who's never been to Africa to have African sleeping sickness. I'm just saying.
Guess we don't want the stage tapped in case they back to basic success.
Yeah.
Spell Pierce, AK, Narset.
They do serve rabbit.
Okay, I guess.
Rabbit fever fits or symptoms. Premier initially presents with a rupture ulcer near the infection site.
So
Chopping the meat with the cleaver could easily have some bacteria.
No, then she'd have respiratory symptoms.
Maybe she ignored it, figured she had a cold.
Rejected Lyme disease because the couple would have noticed a rash, but a wet hacking cough is just gonna slip right by.
It's either that or she missed her exit on the turnpike and wound up in Africa.
Lousy idea.
It's like take Swords to Plowshares and then try and get to a point where we can cast, like, make the 2020 with crop rotation up to protect it.
yeah. So the other option is
Right.
the other option is to take the Narset so they don't have a strong play next turn and play the map, which if they pierce the map, we've cleared out everything but the play. No, that doesn't make any sense.
You cut out again.
Yeah, I was talking about a line that didn't make any sense anyway, so my microphone had a good idea.
So crop for Bog to play around Snap Flashback Swords.
Yeah, I think it's either Swords
Yeah.
or Narset. Narset's gonna probably find them another counter spell or another Swords. So
I think
How come he doesn't ride you guys? Got a crush on you.
I worry about taking not Plow is that it lets them take a line where they get to like leave up Spell Pierce
yeah,
plus Plow. So maybe it's take. I mean, if we take Narset, we like jam an Expedition map into the Spell Pierce, and
I'm tempted to say we still jam an Expedition map into the Spell Pierce.
I kind of want to still jam it and just hope that they don't like AK into exactly back to basics.
Yeah,
There's nobody. Give it up. Your lips say no. Your shoes say yes.
Well, they're French. Can't trust a word they say.
Solid. It's stylish. A professional woman would be impressed. I'm thinking.
Yeah, they're piercing literally anything. And this way, I like this as well because it takes them off of AK this turn.
yeah.
So, like, they know their next card with Ponder, and they're probably
Date a patient's daughter.
Very ethical.
yeah. Brainstorm here, right?
Oh, that's a really good call. Wow.
Okay,
Lunch with one of the nurses. It's your first time in an oncology unit. She's having
judgment. That's fine.
emotionally. Perfect. I want it to be nice. That's all. I mean it.
You always do. It's part of your charm.
Right, just play Dark Depths and pass, and then
Mrs. Campbell's test results. You remember her? The priest
have to
with the heart of silicone.
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell.
pass with Snap Plow up, and they don't Spell Pierce.
All over them. You know how concerned you were.
And here's to hoping that none of the cards they've seen are okay. AK does nothing.
Of course, that's just my opinion.
All right.
So we know 5 cards, so they're pondering.
Yep.
So they have to have a land here, or they
What's wrong?
are playing towards Terminus.
Waiting downstairs. Why?
Okay.
So they have AK. So we know 5 of their 6 cards.
So we make. I would make the 2020.
You have to get
And then if they cast AK, yeah, we make the 2020, right? And then we can crop rot away bog to wasteland them. The only issue is if they tap their flooded strand.
Yeah, I think we just go for. They only have one unknown card, so
Yeah, I would go for it.
yeah, I think we just go for it with crop step protection.
Yeah.
The wasteland line doesn't seem great to me.
Wasteland line works if they mess up and
Or their last card's not exactly another plow.
they didn't shuffle. Sure.
So
I would just go for it, I think. Like we aren't beating double AK, right?
no. Not after I mistakenly clicked through a
And
brainstorm.
there are a number of things that could happen here that favor us. And let's see. Yeah. So they have one random card.
The fact that
Okay.
they crack, that's pretty good. That means they're casting snap, I think.
Okay, so they don't have Terminus. So they're snap plowing.
Yep.
Okay.
So their unknown card needs to be Force of Will to work here.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, there we go.
Yep.
So I don't think it really matters. Do you think there's a difference between? I guess we can't really bog them. I think we have to wait until they use them.
I would get the plow out of the yard in case somehow this game continues to a point where, you know, like if they say they do have exactly Force Will and we don't just concede on the spot because we have a brainstorm in hand and nothing going on. Okay, cool.
Where'd you find that? The journal, the Instituto de Higiene y Medicina Tropical.
Yeah.
You don't read Portuguese?
You do?
Pretty sure that's what it said. Either that or it was an ad for sunglasses.
Her husband has never been to Africa either.
Oh, stymie again. Your logic is bulletproof.
I think ignoring Russian quotations is more likely than cheating.
Because
So here I side out almost all of the artifacts. I don't know what your impression of the matchup is, but I often see Miracles players boarding in Council's Judgments, Disenchant sometimes.
It's not uncommon for depths players to leave in like Needle or something to cut you off of Jace or whatever. So leaving in like a Disenchant or something is nice.
Yeah,
So I think I'm fine with that, or just blinking that effect.
So that's the general plan. I find the matchups very, very difficult to just jam early. So I don't think the Mox Diamonds are
I agree.
particularly relevant either.
I
So.
mean, I do find it interesting that you're cutting a brainstorm. I
It's a space thing.
would assume that you.
Like if you go back to this setup, right? What are the two cards? I think this card.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We can't necessarily. I mean, we could shave a crop rotation, I guess,
Yeah.
or just like cut the expedition map, but like both are kind of integral to what we're doing.
Yeah, I think 8 tutors, 7 to 8 tutors is kind of the baseline that I don't want to go below. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And basically all of these cards are really good. I guess the Stifle is debatable, but it hits Snap, it hits their fetch lands, it hits their Jace balance, it hits enough that I think
Is Bajuka Bog
it's
really necessary?
well, it can shut off the AK engine after 1 or 2 in the middle. It also stops. It's another way to stop Snap Plow if you happen to draw this Shaziri step or have already used it in another sequence.
But
counters are random.
we have Triple Surgical, right? Bajuka Bog just seems kind of medium to me, or it seems like diminishing returns. We also have Stifle, which is functionally the same as Crop Rot into Bajuka Bog for a Snapcaster.
Okay, I'll shave one.
So we still have 4 answers plus Fluster. So we have way more answers for Snap Plow than well, not necessary, but we have a lot of them. So
This hand's kind of awkward.
and this seems like a really good grinding hand.
Yeah, I think this is okay.
They're probably gonna either like land Ponder or land Go, leave up Spellpiercer or Flusterstorm. We just like play Gemstone Mine, pass, leave up Stifle. play like a second land and then cast their Ponder, they are going to go for AK. And just like Bayou duress them or whatever.
Yep.
Pierce or Fluster looks like. Okay, Spell Pierce, sure.
Do you want to
Do
fluster here?
you
Two down, two to go.
stifle?
No.
Um,
About 20.
can like maybe convert the stifle later on in the game. The thing is, String here is pretty aggressive, right?
I think it's actually decent because how can they punish us if they have exactly a second spell pierce? That's annoying. But if they or Flusterstorm, I guess. But if they have a Brainstorm and they fetch Brainstorm, that's great. We could take whatever their best card is and Surgical right out of their deck and shuffle their other two good cards away.
Yeah. The other thought is like they could have back to basics here, which would be a beating. And I kind of like the idea of like leaving up Gemstone Mine to just take a natty draw to turn on Decay or just like have Brainstorm up. But again, this is a spot where like your expertise is gonna
I think I want to.
like, or your knowledge of the matchup is gonna be more relevant than
I think I want to get. I think I want to get information here because they could do a lot of devastating things, depending on what their hand
like
is.
the thing with the line of just like passing is we're pretty much hard locked into just casting a Brainstorm, right?
Sure.
We need to use our mana. Oh,
So
well, these
here's
cards
the-
do nothing.
Well, this one did.
You take Narset, but so I don't leave in Council Judgment in the. Oh, you have to leave in Council Judgment because of
Hex Mage, Safekeeper. It does answer a few things.
It's the least clunky answer for
Wow. That's
what is this?
not bad.
That's fine.
Be nice if we drew it. There we go.
Okay, yeah, we just kill this, I guess. Then they have they played their Flooded Strand. Or they didn't play their Flooded
No,
Strand.
they played the basic.
They played basic, right.
No, they did. Yeah, the mentor was their draw last turn.
Yeah, it obviously was like just spaced out.
So here I think we lead with Brainstorm and see what's up,
I like brainstorming here.
and see if we need to see what, if anything, we need to tutor for.
That's right. Homemade pizza? I guess. Homemade pizza. That's a little better.
So
Back like
I don't think we need the second Surgical Extraction,
Download the Domino's app, scan any.
especially considering they don't really have a high value target yet either.
That means double points when you scan any
hate the second surgical.
when you order two or more. When I got laid off, I skipped a few cards.
But do we want to leave up Stifle?
They dropped me. When I got rehired, I called the general.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we're leaving up Stifle here. I mean, I guess we could on the off chance they draw Jace, but we're setting ourselves back a turn on the combo if we do that.
My thought process is like maybe we put back Depth's Polluted Delta and then Sylvan Scrying for stage and then like just play stage and pass and then have double surgical. Is there a reason that we want this second Polluted Delta? Or this Polluted Delta over the second surgical?
The reason we would keep the Delta is because we could Scrying and keep Stifle up this turn.
Scrying in what?
And keep Stifle up this turn. But that only works. That's only a worthwhile line if we're going to delay the combo by a turn.
Right. I guess if we Scrying and they like Spell Snare or something, we do want to maybe just play the Delta to
Shuffle
hold up
out.
Stifle for a fetch because getting Jaced is like pretty bad in that situation.
Yeah, that's.
Honest, we may actually
We're
just
also running this just due to the draw, Gemstone being our first land. We're running this into the ground, so we might be a little short.
may actually. I mean, we're probably playing Polluted Delta regardless.
At this point, I think so. Yeah.
Good Jace off the top would be pretty backbreaking.
Yeah.
Better. was it to keep the second depths instead of extraction or stifle, in case we want to make another combo attempt later. I'll leave that to you, Tom.
Yeah, I think the way this game, well, it's not great. I think the way this game's played out so far, we're kind of
I don't like the opponent waiting there on the AK. I would have AK'd in response. Well, that card is annoying, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of an embarrassing effect, I guess. But it cuts off part of her hand. But yeah, I think if I was the opponent, I would have cast AK in response there to try and find a Fluster Spell Pierce for the tutor.
We definitely don't want the second surgical.
We don't need to. We don't need to fetch. We don't need to fetch here.
Oh, we're scrying. That's right.
We resolve summon scrying.
Yeah.
Wasteland doesn't do anything, so. We want a surgical monastery mentor or AK right now.
Yeah, since it's not actually
Teferi cut them off.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think AK is probably more relevant.
Mentor kills us pretty quickly. AK lets them draw ahead. I think AK is scarier than Mentor here, to be honest.
Yeah. The only question is, do we want to wait till next turn, risk them drawing another AK, but actually have full information on their hand before we go for it?
Oh shit, this Teferi is actually really busted.
It's annoying. Yeah, this card's shut off entirely.
Teferi lets them Council's Judgment, Merit Lage. We have to find another discard spell. We should just sit on this AK, or on this Surgical. Can't actually go for it anytime soon. That's really obnoxious. This Judgment as an instant speed effect is pretty good. Don't we want to copy a basic land?
Yeah, we can do that if they jam back to basics.
So crop rotation, does that do anything? Not really, right?
I don't think so. At least we're locking their mana up a little bit.
Apparently he stops abilities, yeah. Teferi is... It would have been sweet to be able to set up like a Wasteland Stifle line or something.
Alright. I'll do it now while we're not doing anything else.
Wouldn't do that. I guess it doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want on our end stuff.
There we go.
Hexmage is neat. Hexmage is actually perfect, right?
Yeah.
You get to pop Teferi, and then we get to like them dirty.
Assuming it resolves, of course.
Yeah. All right. I would just pop the Teferi before they just get to minus it to draw a card. But I guess if they minus it on our Hexmage, we don't particularly care.
Yeah, I think that's...
Actually, just pass to their turn because they may fetch, and we get to pop Stifle their fetch land. Kind of cool. Okay.
So do we pop this during their upkeep or not care? I'm not sure I care if they target the Hexmage.
If they minus, that's like mildly annoying, but not the worst case scenario, right? It still gets the Teferi off the table, and they already have a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
And they're just redrawing there, so that probably means they found a plow. I think I would pop Stifle now, right?
So actually, we do need to kill this Teferi now, don't we? Because if he actually
Yeah.
he plus ones it, the judgment's still live, right? That's the way that works.
The judgment will still be alive.
Yeah, so I
So yeah, we need to pop it now.
Okay. So the question is, do we stifle this too?
The stuff's basically arsenic mixed with antifreeze. Doesn't kill us, makes us stronger, huh? At least you wouldn't have been so glib if you'd been prescribed the last pro. Can cause vomiting, abdominal pain, blood toxicity, neural damage, cardiac arrhythmia.
And is there any thought to just surgically to Fairy? I guess they can't really tap out here, so we just stifle this. Well,
Oh, the problem.
stifle takes down crop rot.
Correct. Yeah. So we could surgical here, and see what they have. Or we could let them have the land and see what they do.
Kind of. Let's see. They brainstormed and redrew. They may have gotten rid of Council's Judgment, and they're fetching here, which means they probably have another cantrip.
I don't think they would have gotten rid of Council's Judgment because the Teferi was still live and on the table at the time.
I think I would surgical Teferi because they can surgical, or they can Teferi with plow up, I guess. And we can't crop or can't protect it.
I guess this gives us.
Teferi also cuts off our hand, so it's like oddly obnoxious here for us.
This will give us full information to know what we want to do too.
So it make me a terrible person.
Wow.
Back to basics, force a will, plow, null rod.
So their plan is to slam back to basics here.
Plow up. Null rod is cute. So there's a one up to Fairy, and they just have a bunch of mentors and stuff.
Yep. All right.
How do we get this force of will out of their hand?
I don't think we can on this particular turn.
You do. Yes. And you need to tell me that.
I guess we have to stifle here,
Problem is they force the stifle and then slam back to basics, right?
which is like good for us, right? Because
No, because
yes, that lets them plow, snap, plow.
yeah.
I think I would still stifle here.
We're not getting the land back if we do that, so I guess we might as well just do it off gemstone mine.
Oh, I mean, we can pop the. Yikes. Huh. And we could stifle off of island, but that doesn't really threaten anything. But we aren't comboing this turn, right?
Probably not, but we don't want to give.
So we just leave the gemstone mine in play, stifle off of island. They have to force a will. Do you have another mentor in hand, or was that just?
No, they did not have a mentor in hand.
Am I misremembering it?
I'm recalibrating the centrifuge.
Turn around.
I think this is fine, actually. I like this.
It's a very sad thing. Not recalibrating.
If they, well,
Makes me cry.
interesting.
I'm not crying.
That's.
Not what I expected.
I told the husband he was a jerk.
Seems like the best thing for us. So
When I was in
now we just get to Wasteland Tundra.
I got
Obviously, we're gonna untap first,
married.
Yeah.
and then like probably do it in their upkeep.
At age, the chances of a marriage lasting.
Ghost Quarter in our deck.
No.
Sliced his brain. There's nothing they could do.
So we just
21 men. I watched my husband
keep
die.
Wasteland in the Tundra. Now they have to leave a plow.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But that's not the whole story. It's a symptom, not your illness.
It's a strange fetch of Tundra with back to basics in their hand.
Yeah, fetching Tundra was curious there. Maybe they wanted us to wasteland.
I'm looking at their deck list again. There doesn't seem to be a real reason for why they would want us to do that.
Guess they hit a second Tundra. I don't quite understand it. I don't know.
I'm not gonna bother manually thawing here.
Oh,
Do you
Can
think? Do you think
back.
they would? Yeah. Do you think they would? No, that doesn't really.
That goes to his global hyperconnectivity project.
Hmm.
Maybe I should just slam Sylvan Scrying here and see if he forces it.
Like Sylvan scrying for Bajuka Bog, pass turn. We get back to basics. Um,
Well, I was thinking second Thespian stage actually.
issue is like this back to basics just eats us.
Yeah, I mean, sitting here is not going to do anything either. We have to try.
Oh wait, why don't we just tap the? Oh, I guess we were leaving up Thespian stage as a threat of something.
Yeah. All right.
This is really awkward. We need like a Flusterstorm or a Thoughtseize effect. Really bad. I still don't understand why they didn't get another basic.
Pretty soon we're gonna have the same number of basics they do. All right. Well, there's the Flusterstorm.
Okay, that's a good start.
We need them to do something though.
Yeah. The issue is once like they have a Snapcaster in place, so there's zero reason for them to do anything.
Yeah.
So in this spot, I would just be attacking and then just, hitting F2.
Do you think they would hard cast Force of Will here?
I think they would. I don't know. We haven't seen enough about this player to like
Really get it. Yeah.
really get a read on their how aggressive they are, like the types of plays they make. Drawing the island will bait them into, finally playing back to basics, and then we can maybe kill them.
Maybe.
Oh.
All right.
So what do we need? Surgical. Interesting.
Oh, we're getting the storm count up. I really should have been manual thawing, but we were so far behind on clock that I didn't.
Yeah. Maybe we just go for it this turn and then play another Dark Depths next turn and then have like surgical.
Yeah, I think that's a good line. I like that.
And then put them in a spot where they have to like surgical us proactively. And then we get to maybe set up something with Flusterstorm and some shenanigans or some such. They just plow us and then we gain a cool 20. And then next turn we get to plow or surgical their plows. And build Storm and then produce another 20/20.
I like that.
And what do we know of their hand? Do you still have that?
They have a Force of Will. Well, they did. They did.
They have no,
They did brainstorm at some point, but at a certain point, they had back to basics, Council's Judgment, Force of Will, Null Rod, and here they used Snap and they used Plow. So they had these four. at one point.
They
or
kept
another.
Plow, and they kept Force.
Yeah.
We can assume they have Force, blue card, something. I think from them, I'm probably keeping Back to Basics in my hand in some number.
All
I
right.
think this all just starts with EOT, Surgical Plow.
And see what happens. Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe we're supposed to go for the 2020 first, and then no.
I think we
That
definitely.
plays around Snapcaster, but doesn't play around Natty Plow.
Do you know where your dad is?
I guess we Surgical Plow and see what's up. And then they have to hardcast Fourth, or they drew Counterspell. Oh.
This is kind of awkward.
1, 2, 3, 4. We can make a 20 here.
Let's see what they do. Yeah.
If they plow on this turn, we have Crop Rot, Flusterstorm.
I want to have a kid, and I'm in the market for some.
And I guess if they snap plow, we do technically just have a third 2020 chilling here. So they're fetching.
Okay.
Snapcaster Mage,
It's fine.
target plow. Do you just want to Crop Rot for Bog?
No, I want to let them cast this.
Or did we wait? Did we cut? Oh no, we have Sindri stuff. That's right. We cut the Bog because we had enough answers for this.
I think making them use as much mana as possible here is the right play anyway.
Yeah, Curtis. Now they have Force plus blue card, and then we Flusterstorm, and then their hand is probably white card, or a white card and a null rod or something.
Yeah. So here I think we just put all the copies on the swords, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not messing around with anything.
No, you were cheating.
How did you in a million years get behind on the clock?
We've been talking a lot.
We've been discussing lines. It's a thing that happens. Great opponent. Oh, sick. That's a really good draw. Oven Dilling click is in and out. If they randomly just have V click.
I don't think there's enough cards. There's still 4 cards. There's still Back to Basics, Council's Judgment, Null Rod. They couldn't have shuffled all of those away.
Their hand is at most one of the cards we know.
Yeah.
It's either Null Rod or Council's Judgment. And then they have one last option to have Vendilion click. So we're playing around one card, and we know their other card is a blank. And I still think cutting the Bog was probably right. I'm not an expert here, but it seems like basically what I said of the majority of the situations where Bog is relevant, we also have other cards that do the exact same thing. And, keeping Bog in just to natty draw it and randomly pop their yard is fine in some spots, but I think redundancy plus counter magic is probably a better plan.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way. Normally I keep 28 lands against them, but I think going to 27 is fine, which is what we did. We just cut a land. I have found spots where it's been useful, but I think on the aggregate, you're probably right. It's probably better to be an impactful spell in 27 lands.
I definitely think there are spots where it's useful. I'm not saying it's like outright bad, but I think if we're in a spot where we're looking at our deck and there's, 62 cards and we have to cut something, it's probably one of the cards we cut because it's not the most backbreaking effect in the matchup. is nice, right?
In the dark, it's good. Yeah, it's not super fast, but we're gonna.
Be better to leave Bog and cut. No, I think Urborg is useful against miracles because you can like when you actually have enough time on the clock. Just naturally drawing an Urborg and sitting there and just aggressively taking down Dark Depths is pretty nice. Oh, sneak attack. All right, let's take that blood boon and
That kills us.
clinch.
Yeah, it would be nice if that, if we can get them to brick for.
All smiles. Bubbly sparkling water. Crack a smile.
All right, sweet.
All right, Saints of Needle.
So I guess we just duress sneak attack, right? Play.
I agree with duressing here.
If you live with diabetes, why finger sticks?
It's actually kind of frustrating. They can
Seething
Simian
song.
Spear guy.
Just get
All right, well, you just take
Alright.
sneak attack and
with a freestyle
Hope they don't kill us this turn.
go from there.
glucose monitor
We can take through the breach if we don't die this turn.
without finger.
Yeah,
Ask your doctor
they have enough mana for each effect, so it's kind of whatever.
do it without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us. Do you push through migraine? Mom, are you okay to play?
Oh, that's good. We're still dead to a
Right, they
bunch of
didn't-
cards.
Imagine what you can do.
Dead to a bunch of cards. The
Blood Moon
I
off
think
the
we
top.
just-
Blood Moon off the top. Well, I mean, we're gonna Thoughtseize him again, but Blood Moon
yeah,
off
if
the
they
top
just
kills
did
us.
draw one of their 3 blood moons, then
So,
good game, opponent.
So all mana now.
Good game. Yeah. Yep. Seems good to me.
Migraine-free days. With Emgality, about 60% of people have their migraine days cut in half or more.
Uh,
Even if you're allergic to
I think we're good now, unless they drew exactly a large creature into
reactions such as itching,
large thing.
trouble breathing, which can happen days after use. See your doctor or get medical help right away if you have symptoms of an allergic reaction. The most common side effects include injection site reactions. What should we do tomorrow? Ask your doctor about Emgality. Learn about savings at emgality.com.
There's something you can't miss at Olive Garden. All new giant Italian classics starting at $12.99. 4 new specialties done up in a big way. Like
All right, so do you got it?
giant Italian classics only for a limited time at Olive Garden.
They didn't do a thing there, so
All of a sudden, you have nauseous and you start
yeah.
weight calculus presents severe bradycardia, high risk down to 40%.
They can randomly blocking do the Emrakul.
Long, real good look.
If they had Emrakul, they would have annihilated us right out of the game.
So,
Not why he's sick, but why you care so much.
same with Grizzlebrand. The only thing that they could have here is like Worm, but if they had Worm, they would have also just
Yeah,
done it.
I can't think of a color that we would need to name here. I mean,
Brainstorm first,
Yeah.
right?
maybe we see a discard spell, sure.
And I think if there's any random effect that they may play that has flying and just
Oh, there's the discard spell. So,
it's nice.
could send a message and kill their Sandstone Needle.
Got him. I think we just Inquisition them for info.
And save the step on the off
Keep
chance.
Sajiri step in
matters.
hand. I would just
Yeah.
put. Yeah.
Alright, doesn't matter.
Okay. So that they had nothing.
Maybe it's cirrhosis.
Wouldn't account for the bradycardia. Viral myositis wouldn't account for the whacked out.
Actually, yeah, I guess the is still relevant.
In black. Well,
They still have
brainstorming first just gives us the most information, right? Do we not want Pithing Needle for sneak attacks? Is that not?
Oh yeah, I just
Irrelevant
started
enough,
to, I
yeah.
started to sideboard as if this was Moon Stomping.
And Stompy.
Yeah. So these are actually
On the other hand, it is legal.
possibly relevant as
Uh,
well with the stupid through the breach, but I don't know that they're good enough.
They seem inconsistent. It's fine if they have a Seething Song through the Breach hand, but it's like bad against any hand that doesn't
Yeah.
consist of that.
This could hit a
Let's see
random
what cards
annihilator
we have.
trigger, but I don't, or one sneak attack trigger, but I don't think that's good enough.
Stifle seems heinous. Bog seems mediocre.
It's possible. This might be okay because they have through to breach, right?
Yeah, I actually like Caracas here, I think.
that's
Do we want... I think we want to cut Step and
Yeah.
Bog, right? I can't think of a reason why.
They go for sure. Map's probably a little slow. I think they can go.
Yeah, I think
Um,
this is fine.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
This probably plays out similar to Moonstompy, where we're in trouble on the draw.
Yeah, I think I like Brainstorm a little more in this matchup because well, this is interesting.
I don't think this is keepable.
I don't think we can keep this, but
It's a turn 3 combo with 0 interaction against a Blood Moon deck. They do
yeah.
mulligan, but I still don't think this is keepable.
Does have Mox Diamond and a basic land, though. Well, this is significantly better. They mold a 5, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, this hand, they're only going to need one play. If they can get the Blood Moon down, they're going to win.
Sure. I think we probably play a fetch land in path, or like a fetch land pass, get Underground Sea, EOT Brainstorm in case we hit it. Oh, well, that changes. Does that change things?
No,
That
it's still
kind of
just
changes.
it's just a turn 2 combo. We're going to have to dodge Chalice and dodge. Actually, I don't know that this deck runs Chalice. We're just going to need to dodge the Blood Moon.
Yeah. So it's just, yep.
So here I think
Well, we can Tropical Island Brainstorm Crop Rot, right?
yeah. So the issue with
We need
playing
to shuffle.
the issue with playing it that way, you can make the argument that we're supposed to get or just play Tropical and Brainstorm now on the off chance we draw Mox plus discard. The problem,
And that seems like the highest upside play, right?
sure, but the downside is if they do, I don't think they have a Chalice, but if they do jam a Chalice, obviously they cut us off our tutor. But I think Tomb Go with a card. I don't know.
I think it's more likely that they have like a Blood Moon effect. And I think I actually do like playing towards drawing Mox plus a discard spell.
I just messed that up. So
However slight the chances are, right?
yeah, I played the wrong land, so we can't do that now. We needed to play the Trop. If we play Underground Sea, we don't have a turn 2 combo.
We do.
That up.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Okay, well, they don't have anything. I think I would still EOT Brainstorm here, right?
I probably
Maybe
should.
that's a bit too aggressive.
Well, same problem. I played the wrong land. It would have needed to be Underground Sea to EOT.
Oh, okay.
So I think now we're locked in. We're gonna lose to through the Breach Emrakul, but I don't know. Is what it is.
Yeah. So it's just Bayou Crop Rot.
Yep.
20.
At least we beat the Moon effects now.
See if leaving up Crop Rot for a Caracas case of Breach Emrakul or something bad. Yeah, that also makes sense.
Yeah, I think passing and giving them more looks at a Blood Moon effect is just bad, though. So I think this is the way to go.
Yeah. Playing Trop changes the lines we could take, so, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
Sick.
definitely. I mean, we don't know because we shuffled with the crop rotation, but I think the correct line there is Trop Brainstorm on turn 1 if we hit the Mox discard sequence. But yeah, once I played the fetch land, as soon as I played it, I knew it was a mistake. But yeah, it kind of locked us into our line once I did it. You would have played Curtis. You would have played Brainstorm on turn 2 still. What, looking for a discard spell and leaving up crop for Caracas?
Yep.
Yeah, I still don't know if I like that line. Like, leaving up crop for Caracas is just, it seems like it's asking. Maybe they had a Blood Moon in hand and they just needed a red source. Feels like that was asking for it.
I'm 82, and I'm supposed to be playing canasta with the other old ladies, but now
This has been a strange league.
I see a guy with a cute butt.
Yeah, beating a bunch of Blood Moon decks, beating Miracles, just
Well,
plows and
actually, I think Miracles is a fine matchup.
do as well. I think it's very easy for the Miracles player to miss board, and I think that your deck puts your deck can just put the Miracles pilot in really awkward spots where their mana is tied up. So people just have to do nothing.
I think this hand's fine.
All the time. All the time. You remind me of him. The same bedroom eyes.
People are always mixing us up.
I suppose you need to check my heart.
No, that won't be necessary. I told you, but I am going to admit you to the hospital for tests. What test?
I recognize this person's name, but I don't remember what they run.
Mother has had a sudden personality change.
Yeah, they seem vaguely familiar.
Nurse come in and admit them. Too handsome to do great work.
He's been on this medication for over an hour.
Pralidoxime is very effective. It just takes a little
Black,
time
red.
to lose PT.
And maybe you're wrong.
Okay.
So here I think we want to do stage, play the Mox.
Mox, pitch another stage, leave a crop rot.
Yep.
Or
Well, I wasn't going to pitch the second stage because if we have to crop rot, we would have to crop rot
play
the
the
second
stage, or yeah.
So,
That makes sense. So we just pitch a random fetch.
yep.
We're going to baby's top floor. Instead of 60.
And if they point a discard spell at us, at least this way we can crop in response. Even if we can't bog them, we'll at least put the combo in play in 2 turns.
Right. Would we get depths, or would it just be Urborg? Is there particular?
Here I think we would just put depths in play since we have stage extra land. I don't think the Urborg
Okay.
actually gets us anywhere.
Makes sense.
Can seem overwhelming. Even if you try to eat well.
Because we couldn't even map bog them next turn as a sorcery, because we'd be short of land to do that.
Designed for men and women. One pill once a day. One a day and done.
I guess now they think we're land, so they're like gonna name crop rot.
Yeah, I don't see any way they don't.
Delicious, 100% real food, embracing the lightness of crispy rice. Crunch, the chocolate bar all Americans love.
I mean, I guess we could have risked it since we have the map as an extra tutor, but that seems really ballsy on Thespian Stage Mox Diamond.
Yeah, Thespian Siege Mox Diamond screams I'm lands.
Drivers just won't put their phones down.
I don't even know what else they could name. I guess they could name Gamble. There's
Yeah,
not a whole lot else that makes any sense in that spot.
Stopping drivers from liking self-healing.
I agree with you on all counts.
Public? No. Smart dogs are not the answer.
Hey guys.
Brought to you by Geico.
Yeah, I mean, Hackbert, the Misty is, I guess the Misty looks a little weird, but what deck would they actually think that is? That has that.
C
stage
isn't
and
weird.
Mox
Man,
Diamond?
it just plays arbitrary green fetches.
That was a really interesting name there.
That is a
Do not use Qbrexza if you
that is an interesting name.
Qbrexza may cause you or someone near you control of your body temperature and blurred vision. The most common side effect reported was dry mouth. Call your healthcare provider if you experience side effects.
Imagine how life can unfold. Ask a dermatologist how you may reduce excessive underarm sweating with Qbrexza.
At Domino's, we love pizza as much as you do. That's why we're giving you Pizza the Pie rewards points for eating any pizza from anywhere.
All right.
That's unfortunate.
That's right. Homemade pizza? I guess. Homemade pizza. That's a little better.
New York style.
We're gonna have to fade. Some, assuming they.
Yes, we maybe shouldn't have played the land first, because we could have maybe scared them into not casting Entomb because of natty bog.
No.
You know.
We they just saw our hand with Cabal Therapy, and the Thoughtseize was the draw for the turn.
All right, we'll take the Young Exhume. Oh, right. Thoughtseize was the draw for the turn. Ugh, I am tired.
So we need to fade 2 draw steps. And currently they have no red mana for the looting, and can't cast any of the 2 casting cost
I can
reanimation
feel
spells.
the Badlands off the top. I think if I'm them,
So, do we want to
God,
just kill them and shut them off of, like, just go for it and kill them, or do we want to get rid of their Gristle Brand? They clearly need to hit this turn. They either need to hit a second land for the 2-drop reanimation spell they drew, or they need to
doesn't
draw
just
reanimate.
bogging them bias.
I guess.
So we can play Dark Depth, give them 1 draw step to hit like a land or reanimation spell, or we can just bog them and probably buy infinite draw steps. I guess if they looting into like the nuts, maybe it's actually kind of a hard choice.
It is.
Uh,
I tend to take when
I think
presented
bog
with-
is technically safer.
Yeah.
I don't have many mana sources, but anyway, what I was saying was I think if I'm the opponent, I'm probably not cracking my pedal there to cast Entomb. Because like one on our side, we may that's nice.
Should keep them off looting unless they
Like yeah. But like what I was saying is
hold on a sec, let me
say
turn the TV off.
okay. Oh, I see your dog's barking at TV dogs. That's cute.
Ferris was having a grand old time over there.
Yeah. I think like say we Thoughtseize the opponent, right? And their hand is Exhume, looting, like everything there, but they still have the Lotus Petal in play, right? Like what's the take?
I think we probably
take
They don't have red mana, so I don't think we take the looting. I think we
well, they would have had Lotus Petal, so I guess we probably take Exhume still.
Yeah.
But then they get to looting and get closer to playing a functional game. Maybe I don't know. I kind of want to say that casting Entomb there is like incorrect, but it's like a very weird incorrect situation, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because I think we make
they had exact they had perfect information too, so
that's a really interesting spot.
So how long are you going to wait out the newness of the format before trying out the new stuff?
I didn't quite catch that.
I said, how long are you going to wait out the transition period of Legacy before testing some stuff out?
I don't know. I don't really have any Legacy events coming up. So like, what format I play is either decided by like me randomly choosing to go to some tournament and needing to test, or just personal interest. And I've kind of enjoyed playing Standard and
well, apparently, sorry to cut you off, but apparently we're.
Hackbird says they're ghosting.
Yeah, which is
big yikes. Basically, my enjoyment of Magic is whatever interests me the most, and right now I'm enjoying Standard and Modern and exploring limited, just formats that I haven't really played much of lately.
All right. Well, this is really awkward because if they actually are ghosting, that map play was kind of.
And it's being a spoopy boy.
Yeah, they just took a decent amount of time deciding on this 7 too.
Oh yeah, they're in the chat.
That's pretty lame.
They said this was one of their friends.
At least it's a 5-0 match for us. Might as well get ghosted and make it harder, right?
Right.
I don't think this hand's particularly good, but
It's a if we draw land, we get to turn one combo.
yeah. More likely, though, we would, assuming we don't get Gristle branded on the spot, we would Inquisition them with Crop Rod up.
Yeah, they're either gonna turn one combo us or, do the good old Cabal Therapy named Mox Diamond, right?
Well, they don't have to play around Surgical when they can see our hand.
Yeah. All right, they have made a Grizzle Daddy. I wish we had this hand on the play. That'd have been really cool.
Yeah.
Or no, I wish we could have. Yeah, I wish we could have had this hand minus Inquisition plus a land, right?
Yeah. Even without the land, Inquisitioning them with Crop Up Go is great. Especially since we would have had an extra Mox Diamond to throw away to a potential Chancellor trigger. Sure.
Pinky, will you play? You play two words?
Curtis, come get your mans.
I'm going to hope it's just a connection issue and they're really not doing that.
Last time I thought I was getting ghosted on stream, it turned out that the guy happened to be watching my stream while his friend was using his Moto account.
Okay.
Or you remember when that happened?
I was actually there for that, yeah.
Maybe.
Or I was in the chat for that at least.
Right.
Yeah, because here there'd be no reason for this to take a while, and they still seem to be having those long pauses, so maybe they're just lagging.
It's pretty easy to just do the draw extra cards, try and find Lotus Petal to either Cabal Therapy or set yourself up for a Tidespell Tyrant next turn. Just any discard spell to take the Hex Mage so our hand does nothing. Faithless Looting was not the card I was expecting to see. Guess they wanted Unmask or something.
Iona.
Discarding Iona. Interesting. So... Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay.
There we go.
I think we can concede.
Yeah, I believe that is.
I hide that info.
I already saw our hand. Well, hopefully we have a reasonable hand for game 3.
Yeah, hopefully. Be awkward that this matchup kind of relies on hidden information, and our opponent maybe, possibly, probably is ghosting. No, Honorog, thanks for the raid.
Sweet. This is the second time I've streamed this year, and he's rated both times.
I don't see them in the chat anymore.
Oh, they were in the chat
So,
earlier?
yeah, I have a screen cap of them in the chat.
Nice.
The situation of watching the stream and, you know, closing it for the match, but I don't know, it's always awkward. I don't like randomly accusing people of ghosting, but it's when someone's in the chat and the name's like our 2 of card that we happen to have in hand, it's also
Yeah, the
kind of a
weird part about
yikes
that name
moment.
is the card didn't even matter in that spot.
Yeah.
It actually didn't do anything. It wouldn't have done anything in that game. So, gameplay wise, I don't know that it made a ton
And
of
if you're
sense.
naming a random land tutor and your opponent crop rots, you're probably naming like Sylvan Scrying or something. Is this a keep?
I think so. So what we can do with this hand is, I don't think they would bring in their own surgical in a million years. So we could, barring no chance, if they Chancellor, we just kill the Chancellor trigger.
Yeah.
If they don't Chancellor,
I feel like this hand wants to like go like Mox Diamond, pitch Dark Depths, play Bayou Sylvan Scrying.
Correct. Yeah.
Or something.
For the depths. So it's a turn 2 combo with surgical for protection.
Yeah.
And if they can beat that, they can beat that. I mean, we could try to mulligan to a hand with more disruption, but this seems like we're putting them to the test, and we have a piece of interaction on top of that, and we can.
I definitely like keep.
Yeah, and we can beat the Chancellor trigger, so it's hard.
Do we lead on Hexmage and then hope that Scrying doesn't get discarded or whatever? Or do we lead on Scrying? Because if we like Scrying for another Dark Depths, it's like blatantly obvious that we have
the
Hexmage.
The reason to Scrying first, in my opinion, is they also have Thoughtseize in their deck, so that
Thoughtseize pushes us regardless, right?
No,
but Scrying for
we have double Hexmage, so we can at least combo through a Thoughtseize.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The other line of Scrying first punishes us against Cabal Therapy on Hexmage.
Yeah, I think I like playing around a Thoughtseize effect over Therapy.
And if they Therapy Hexmage, they're leaving us with Extraction, so I think that's fine.
Surgical, sure. Yeah, I think I like Scrying here.
Yeah, we could do Bayou Go, but where and praying we draw the second land. But I think I like.
I don't really like doing that.
I like having the guarantee. Yeah. And a bunch of our.
Yeah, I don't like not using our mana thing. Like.
Yeah.
Bayou Go hopes that the opponent plays around, prop rot plus other stuff. But I think that's pretty passive, and I guess what we have, how many lands in our deck?
26 left.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like just over a coin flip on drawing a land.
Yeah.
And if we don't hit, we get very much punished in probably a game-losing fashion.
Yeah.
They're either casting Thoughtseize here, or they are, whatever. We'll see. Okay, cool looting. Chancellor.
Do not care about that.
Okay, well, they are dead. Probably.
Well, I'm not bothering.
Oh, man.
I'm not bothering to bog them. I don't care about the Chancellors at all.
All right.
We'll just pound down the Chancellor for a few turns if necessary.
If we had taken the Bayou Go, we would have been able to make the big of Mox Diamond pitch Bajuka Bog. Just flex on him, you know. Oh, are we gonna get hit with the Exhume?
I believe we are, but that's fine because the Chancellor will come in, we'll make a guy, extract the real creature, and then bog them after they
We surgical growth and
bog
they make a
bog them after they
surgical. Yeah, exactly. And then they just taste it. Okay.
Let's see if there's anything relevant here.
Their hand's pretty bad, so
So they've got
basically the same sideboarding as the last person.
yeah. So they've got.
I don't think this deck actually sideboards against you.
It depends.
Yes.
I've seen people that have Magus of the Moon. I've seen people that bring in one of Assassin's Trophy, stuff like that.
Like, I get that. I could see Magus because you can like turn one, get a Blood Moon or something, but I'm not particularly fond of Assassin's Trophy.
So.
But yeah. Make Legion response to the Exhume, get a Hex.
I was going to. I was waiting for priority.
Priority.
Yep.
So mean. Barrett.
And, this is gonna go very uncomfortably for the opponent.
Yep.
Yeah, may as well just
Oh, Hexmage just crashing in for sure.
I come with both. Crop for step, please. Do we have step in our deck?
We do, but it doesn't matter. Their hand is Entomb, an irrelevant card. There's nothing they could draw next turn.
I guess we could brainstorm for step, but
we could.
Meh.
But yeah, I think
kind of just like
I don't think
attacking, bogging, and leaving up brainstorm in case we need to find like crop rot or something.
Yeah, I don't think there's a sequence that they can maybe looting into.
Drawing crop rot doesn't matter when we have bog in play.
Draw looting into land ritual, and they could entomb something. I don't know. It would take an interesting sequence for them to do anything that's relevant.
I have to draw a dark writ.
We could still do it because crop rot's an instant.
There's a Chancellor in play, so we'd be brainstorming for Natty.
Natter, yeah. I don't think that's worth doing.
Natty Sajiri step, but it's whatever. Our opponent on drawing exactly dark red is, whatever to me. I guess they can draw Faithless Looting and loot into land dark red as well, or what have you, but I don't think just firing off the brainstorm matters. I guess it's better to do it post-combat because we can draw like a discard spell. So I do think we want to cast the brainstorm.
Do we though?
After
their hand was Entomb, and what was the third card? Was it the looting?
A 2-mana reanimation spell.
Okay.
I think brainstorm hit a discard spell plays the best around. Their best draw is dark writ, and from there it's drawing Faithless Looting.
We could just wasteland them too, which is humorous.
Kind of like wastelanding them. Does wasteland them? I'm pretty sure wastelanding cuts them off of more outs, right?
I think it cuts them off of everything.
And
even if they somehow miraculously figure it out, I don't care. They just have a Chancellor again, and we'll bog them again.
I don't know what one card they could draw. It starts with Black Lotus or LED into Faithless Looting, I guess, into exactly a reanimation effect to buy themselves a turn.
All right.
Z50.
6-0, because we finished my other league off too.
As 6-0 on the day. So.
All right, Lawrence, you're officially
pretty nice.
You've done well. So now that you've been around for a few matches, any thoughts on the deck?
It feels really good. You have a nice, strong, proactive play, uh, or like game plan. It's a deck that's easy for people to mess up, like playing against, and I like this a lot. The slower depths deck isn't necessarily more exploitable, but um, people are getting used to it. So you kind of just are in that nice middle ground between like turbo depths and the slow depths. So you can kind of just capitalize on people's biases one way or another. And uh, Brainstorm is obviously a really good card, and the Flusterstorms were really impressive to me.
Yeah, I just think the double duty that they pull is what breaks it. Like people always think that the Brainstorm is the primary card that the deck splashes blue for, but Flusterstorm is basically on the same level in this deck because the deck. I think
Yeah,
the black green versions struggle with Storm a little bit, in my opinion. I know that's not
I mean,
a
to be
unique.
honest, in a lot of those situations, if you'd replace like Brainstorm with Ponder or Preordain, it would have been functionally the same. I imagine there are times where Brainstorm increasing your hand, like your card quality or the texture of your hand is better, but um, I was less impressed with Brainstorm than I was Flusterstorm, and I don't think that was a sentence that I ever expected to say in my life.
Yeah, I think part of it's the matchups. Like one of the other areas
Yeah,
besides the card exchanges and shuffling back steps and bogs and things like that that Brainstorm does.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
very good against discard, and we just didn't see. I think we had other than Black Red Reanimator, I don't think we had a single discard spell cast against us
Right,
that we could
right.
actually respond to. Theirs were always on the play on turn one. Here's your discard spell. Where Brainstorm, it's too late. But against other decks, Grixis Control or
Yeah, I
other
I
decks that would
agree.
have discard spells, they would show a little bit of extra flexibility. But yeah, the Fluster
I
Storms.
wasn't implying that we should wholesale replace Brainstorm. I was just pointing out that
I
in that league,
was just saying I don't
it
think
was
it's
like,
I think it's a step above Ponder in this deck. I think.
oh yeah. In that league, I don't think it was, but in the abstract, it obviously is just the objectively better card to play in your deck.
Yeah,
I don't,
we had a couple Chalice decks with the double mono red stompy nonsense. That
well, I
Brainstorm's not
don't.
the greatest card in that particular matchup. You don't
I
think
only
it's
hit Moonstumpy once. Or was Moonstumpy the deck we
we
played
hit
against
we hit
to
Moon
finish off?
Stompy and mono red sneak attack. Doesn't that deck have Chalice too or no?
I think so, maybe.
Okay,
I think that deck has. I know that deck has Trinisphere. I'd have to look at a
a
mono
list.
red sneak list. It's been a while. I'd assume they play Chalice. They're an ancient team deck without cantrips, and
Yeah, we didn't see any one drops of any kind in either game, so I would assume it's in there.
yeah, the deck is kind of whatever. So
Yeah, but yeah, the Fluster Storms I think tilts the Storm matchup, which is great, and the other combo matchups it's obviously good, but it's also we saw it won a game versus Miracles. It's good versus the control
yeah,
decks too. So
I really like the deck. Do you cut Brainstorm against Death and Taxes?
I do, yeah. So it comes out against all the Chalice decks, and then all the taxing decks. So any deck with Thalia in it, I really don't want to be trying to cast Brainstorms.
Makes sense. And you just go the old Turbo Depths plan of infinite pithing needles against them and
Yeah,
having Caracas get rid of you
yeah against
and
DNT,
Safekeeper.
this pile, these 9 cards would come in against DNT. So we go up to 4 needles. The Safekeeper comes in. The 4 removal spells, the trophies do double duty, hitting their lands plus any annoying creatures or vials. Krakus is good, bouncing their Thalia, annoying them. Then Ghost Quarter for another waste effect versus all their tricky lands. So yeah, the Brainstorms all come out. The Mox Diamonds all come out. I think those are terrible against Death and Taxes. Getting
Son.
getting one of these revokered is basically an auto game loss.
Yeah, because you can't really afford to abrupt decay Revoker in that matchup or Trophy Revoker.
If you can even do it, because one of the cards I love to see out of them the most. Dish down. One of the main cards I love to see out of them is Mother of Runes, because they can sort of try to make a protected flyer, but we have step to try and fight through that. But if they go Mom into Revoker and you're holding Abrupt Decay, you're just gonna want to kill yourself or Strang.
You're basically just sandbagging your decay effects for like
Yeah, you wanna be hitting
Vile slash.
equipment in particular. Jit's a problem. You don't really want them going over 20 life. I actually played Daniel on D&T last week and stifled a Batter Skull germ trigger in one of the games that was decisive. So yeah, you want to keep them off. Some decks splash or go get one of the 3-drop swords. Sort of Fire Ice is really bad if they start drawing cards. If they happen to have it, sort of Light and Shadow is atrocious. So yeah, you want to be hitting them, and then if they don't have Mother of Runes, you can occasionally push through a Flicker Wisp or a Flyer, or hit some other relevant creature out of their deck. But yeah, you don't want to be pointing at a Revoker if you can help it. Did you cut out? I think you cut out for a second, or I cut out for a second.
Yeah, you cut out for a second there.
No. Yeah. General gist was, yeah, I agree. You don't want to be decaying Revoker if you can help it.
Right.
Which is also hard to do, because if you're discarding a card discarding a land to Mox Diamond, it's often a colored source. So getting to black green if this gets shut off is asking a lot.
Kind of impossible.
Yeah, because you're generally not discarding your combo lands to Mox Diamond in that matchup.
The only other question I have is, have you considered playing a Life from the Loam, or is that game plan just kind of too unreliable to?
Yeah, I mean,
is a one of one diminishing returns for this type of build?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I've had it in here before, and I've tested with other people messing around with it in Slow Depths as a one of. The problem is it's just so random. Like, there's literally 0 ways to get to it. So sometimes it just never shows up when you could use it, and then other times it shows up versus a combo deck where it's completely irrelevant. And then post board, even though this isn't really a deck that I would say that Graveyard Hate is good against, just about everybody brings in Graveyard Hate against it. I see.
Right, everyone just naturally boards in Surgical against the A+B combo deck.
Correct. Like even
playing
even
it doesn't necessarily do anything.
Yeah, even in the first match we played, where we were playing Chase's 4-color punishing Dak deck.
Yeah, their post board hand was pretty terrible. Yeah,
it's really hard if you're playing tight against them. It's really hard for them to kill a Lodge token, because I'm not going for it until I've cleared the path, or till I know I have an answer. And even that guy brought in multiple Surgical Extractions. So, do I really want a card that's mainly just going to be a game one of that I have no way to find? The deck's set up to not want to combo multiple times. It can in certain matchups, but it doesn't want to be going off more than
game
once.
one. Yeah. You don't want Loam. That makes sense. Game 1, you don't want Loam, and game 2, you have the tools necessary to stop your opponent's interaction, as opposed to having to, try to do the redundant game plan thing. Makes sense to me.
Exactly. All right, well, thanks for coming on. I had a really good time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep, if you ever want to do it again, I plan on trying to do this about once a week or so.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, if you ever feel like...
Are you going to do weekly guests?
What's that?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, if you ever feel like teaching me miracles on a competent level, not just me clicking cards.
I mean, at some point I will definitely want to, maybe jam some matches, get a little more familiar in the matchup. But yeah, if you ever want to learn miracles or branch into some random brainstorm deck, Stoneblade or Delver, I'm down to join in. But to be honest, this deck feels like it's doing way more powerful things than the other brainstorm decks in the format. Or at least that's how combo decks always feel, right? Because your plan is so punishing and just kills your opponent, whereas the other decks are trying to, eke up those percentage points. Learn Chase's deck. The Grixis control-based decks are less about learning the deck specifically and more just about understanding Magic on a fundamental level, right? Because you're just nothing but a stack of good cards, and it just comes down to understanding sequencing and being able to identify what matters in a certain game state and knowing which cards to play towards.
Sure, that might be underselling his deck a little bit though, because I know a lot of people have struggled with it because he keeps winning with it, and it doesn't seem like it's picking up all that much.
I think his deck is really good.
I just think he's on a level that's above and beyond what most. I mean, I know is it Edgar? Somebody did really well with it at Niagara Falls.
You're Megalish.
Yeah,
He took Chase's list and then like changed 7 cards, just cut some of the things he felt were cuter, just roped in a few cards and played a few more consistent effects. I think like the thing I like about Chase's deck is that it solves a lot of the issues that Grixis Control as a deck shell has. The Punishing Fire Engine gives you the consistent removal that you need to deal with most creatures in the format, / gives you an unconditional answer for Planeswalkers. So like I was talking to Edgar and he mentioned that against Grixis Control, he can just kill them. Well, he doesn't have to kill them. He can just answer literally everything they do. And you can just deck your Grixis Control opponent because, once you answer Gurmag Angler, which is fairly trivial, you can Punishing Fire everything else down, and then their deck has no cards that matter. And that just puts the deck in a spot where it just fundamentally has a good match against like every blue deck that isn't playing back to basics or counterbalance. So like Miracles is arguably one of the worst matchups, and it's not even that bad. It's like those cards specifically. Like you don't even necessarily have a bad matchup against Miracles. You just have a bad matchup against like art lock pieces that mess with your mana and your ability to put certain spells on the stack. Then obviously like you're going to be fine against the combo decks because you're still a Force of Will, discard, random other counter magic deck, and then from there, it ultimately just comes down to how well you play.
that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like I don't feel like I want to get away from my deck necessarily because I still do enjoy it, but I do want to branch out into some of the other more powerful decks in the format. If nothing,
I think your deck is really good, and you're kind of in a similar situation to Chase, the guy who plays a deck that not a lot of people are willing to touch for whatever reason, and you consistently do well. But for whatever reason, people branch towards some other mainstream version because, I don't know, a sense of normality, I guess. And it's just like, it's very clear that your list offers very good fixes to the issues that other depth shells have in terms of random inconsistency, not being able to interact with the opponent on the stack and having to build up these convoluted game states of having to, like in our game against Miracles, we got to have Flusterstorm as a draw, right? And we got to set up lines where we could tax their mana on their turn with Flusterstorm protection, as opposed to having to play I'm just going to try to draw towards more discard spells, or have to play a bunch of like chokes in your sideboard, or have to play something like not consume maybe with the meek, Rite of Consumption, right?
yeah,
You're still like adding effects to your deck, but you aren't intrinsically increasing the consistency of the deck, where as Brainstorm just naturally does that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still gonna play this a ton, but in particular, for the format playoff, whatever that they call it, in January, it's gonna be such a small field, and knowing 7 of the players in it already, at least half of them are horrendous matchups. That are probably gonna run decks. The pilots.
I have no idea when the format playoff is.
It's in January.
Oh, the finals. Okay, yeah, that's right. You qualified last time. I missed out on qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, like currently.
Yeah, I could see branching out and
Yeah, so that's my
playing not this deck specifically for this tournament, because you don't want people to mulligan towards.
Well,
Or necessarily want people to mulligan towards good against Tom Hep .hand or whatever.
Well, the list would be, I mean, I think just about everybody's lists, unless they're picking something cheeky, is going to be known, and the players that I know are just great with their decks, like Michael Bondi on Death and Taxes,
Right.
Dan Neely on
So-
Maverick, and you just go down the list. They're all great players, but if it's going to be a great player on a list that my deck's not exactly great against, I want to have options depending.
Right, you don't want to be the guy providing a buy for the field.
Pretty much, I want to at least have options depending on what the field ends up, or what my perception of what the field's gonna.
Yeah, I've been watching Anthony Laverde stream tests, and I've been very impressed with that deck. I think the grindy plan of Ant is good in some metagames, but it seems like right now just testing out a turn 1 people is really, really good. So that may be something to look into.
That's fair. Has he been on the?
Or-
I know a bunch of those guys have been messing with like weird sideboard plans with. Or
You cut out again.
Oh, I know some of them have
Messing
been
with-
messing around with their board plans and stuff because of the increase in Chalice and other various decks.
Yeah, he's on Pulverize.
Okay.
And like the thing about Tess is like one, you have a lot of 0 CMC mana and what have you, but you also can just like wish for your you also have more wishes, so you get to like burn a wish, get your Pulverize, set up a turn where you get to go Pulverize, cast a bunch of rituals, and then like Ant, it can also have the whole like I need to get to 5 mana for ad nauseum thing, but your ad nauseums are way worse, whereas Test just like that card is consistently just a draw it basically your deck. So like an ad nause from 18 or so life with Ant is like maybe a win, but with Tess it's
Almost.
you have to flip pretty terribly to lose.
Makes sense. Yeah, that might be a deck worth exploring. I think there's some people around that would be willing to. They seem to be pretty open towards helping people get the
Okay.
get the basics down with. Them.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's no problem. Thanks for coming.
I'll catch you later, man.
Take it easy.